It is 4th place Washington Spirit taking on 10th place North Carolina Courage. Now, 4th for Washington, 10th for North Carolina seems like a big gap. Guys, it is not at all. North Carolina is coming off of a 5-2 loss to San Diego, the last match that they played before the international break. But prior to that, they were 4 straight games picking up points, 3 wins and just 1 draw. One of those wins came against Kansas City, and the draw came against Orlando, 2 of the top teams in the league right now. Meanwhile, for Washington Spirit, prior to the international break, they got a 2-1 win over Seattle, and they're coming off of 3 straight games picking up points. Now, Jordan, this game for Washington Spirit will be the first after their big head coaching news was announced. So head coach Jonathan Herrera is leaving for, how are we saying it, D? OL Lyonnais? Hit us with the French correctly.
OL Lyon.
Lyon. There we go.
But I don't know how we're saying it in America. I don't know what people are just going to rock with. But that is how you properly say it in French.
Thank God we have someone that speaks French here.
Seriously.
So Herrera is leaving in July to go to Lyon, allowing Adrian Gonzalez to become again the head coach.
Can we just talk about it? Why doesn't he just go now?
I don't know.
Is that weird?
I don't know.
That is so bizarre to me.
It's weird.
I would be like, just leave. We're already rocking with Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, what he did last year with the team, the confidence he brought out of players, they were defensively more sound, in my opinion.
And why the tactics from now until July that Herrera gives to them is irrelevant. Just let Gonzalez start coaching.
Yeah, I find that very bizarre. I think this whole thing was wild. I can't imagine how Washington Spirit fans feel about this. Like, they probably feel like this club is like second tier now in the pecking order of Michelle Kang's teams, which
maybe,
I think.
But I would argue against that because Adrian Gonzalez had a lot of success with this team last year.
I'm talking Spirit fans in general. Like you're saying our head coach is leaving to go coach another team in our kind of organization, right? So you're saying this is one of the best coaches in the world. He's going to go here. I just feel like they're going to be a little upset with just how it went down. Not that they're going to be upset with Adrian Gonzalez. I really have enjoyed him. Like Dee said, they were rolling when he was coaching 10-4-1 to start 2024. This is a guy who really understands what he wants to do. I think that they're going to be super comfortable with him just slotting into that spot. All I'm saying is, why not tomorrow?
Yeah,
why not this weekend? Like
Jordan's like,
see ya. Like if you don't want to be here, see ya, right? Maybe I'm just different that way.
No, I agree. I think it's weird to be like, I'm leaving in a month. Like, just leave now.
I also wonder if this movement, I mean, I think we talk about when we're thinking of who's going to coach what team, and there's this same sort of spin cycle of coaches that we always have their names thrown in. And I think with Jonah Herrera going to Olympique Lyon and Adrian Gonzalez becoming the permanent head coach for Washington Spirit, that's another elite coach now that we have as a head coaching role, getting more and more experience, as opposed to just this washing machine we have of the same teams at the same big clubs that kind of rotate in and out. We're adding another one to the arsenal. So I'm with it. I'm with you guys. Jonah, leave tomorrow. Whatever. The team's going to do great. They love Adrian Gonzalez. We love you too, but...
Yeah, totally.
But he's not leaving tomorrow. He's not. He is still there. Jonah Herrera is still there coaching.
I'm just putting it out in the soccer universe.
Yeah, I'm talking to him tomorrow morning, so I hope he's still there.
Jordan, you mentioned it's probably a little weird for the fans. How does it change the narrative for the players? Is it weird for them?
I think that they respect both these coaches. We just talked about their resumes and how good they are. So for the players, they know what their business is. And for the Spirit team, I think they feel like they've underperformed. Even though they're sitting in a good place in the standings, I should say, they don't, to me, as an outsider looking in, I don't think that they have performed as well as they could perform. So this is a really good opportunity against a North Carolina team who everybody understands what they're trying to do. And I think one of the things that is key in the last few weeks for North Carolina is they aren't, and don't, like Sean Nahas wants them to be like always ball dominant, but I do feel like they have found times where they see a team stretched and they're like, all right, we're going to go and we're going to try to score quicker. And they need that duality in the way that they play to add some unpredictability in their game. So I think for the Spirit, the players, not much changes, right? They trust Jonah's voice. They trust, or Jonathan's voice. I say his name wrong every time. And they trust Adrian's voice. And I would imagine it will be like more shared roles as they move forward. I don't know how they're going to handle that, but I don't think it changes much for the players.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, I think it's more of a confidence drive than anything, because you're familiar. You did so well last year. I think it simplifies things from your interim head coach going to assistant with a new head coach coming in. It just makes things a little bit more plain and clear, and you have one voice that you're very comfortable with that led you to success last year that you get to listen to. All
right, guys, this North Carolina team, though, they are scoring goals, which was tough for them to start this season. They weren't finding the back of the net, but now they've scored multiple goals in 4 of their last 5 games, right? Even that tough loss to San Diego, they still put away 2. So they have 10 games in their last 10 goals in the last 5 games. They're finding their rhythm. I think for North Carolina, they have to be a little bit more brave going forward at times and play that risky pass that send someone forward, especially against San Diego. It was very passive. It was very in their own defensive end. But Washington is going to let North Carolina have the ball, let them pass around a little bit, let them be ball dominant. They're going to hurt in transition. So can North Carolina be really brave moving forward? But this is, I think, the midfield to me in this game is going to be so key for this game. If Denise O'Sullivan, she dictates so much of the tempo for North Carolina, and she strings everything together for them. But she's going up against Narumi, guys, former teammate.
Besties.
So fun. I think that's going to be so fun to watch them in the middle of this game.
I have a thought on the midfield. To me, North Carolina wants to play in that box, right? They've been playing with 2 10s, Sanchez and Shaw. And then it's Riley Jackson, who we have probably not been talking about Riley Jackson enough. Like in general, she has been elite in she's 19 years old. Like so good. I mean, she might even be younger than that. I don't know. I don't have my notes right in front of me. And then O'Sullivan. So they want to play in this box. But if you have Bernal in there, Narumi, or is Hal back? We don't know. We don't know the status of Hal. We know she got some minutes in the last game. I think that this is where it's going to be won or lost, especially for North Carolina, because in that game against San Diego, they wouldn't let Shaw, they wouldn't let Sanchez get the ball. Sanchez had, I'm trying to recall from back then, I think she had 19 touches in the game when Sanchez came out of the game. It was in the teens. It was not enough touches for Sanchez in this formation that they want to work through. So if North Carolina is going to be successful and those two are not being able to get the ball in this formation because of the holding midfielders of Washington Spirit, especially Bernal, how good has she been about breaking up plays? How do they get the ball? If they cannot adapt, it's going to be a tough day for North Carolina. But those two are uber creative. And I think coming off the heels of that San Diego game and maybe what the Spirit are going to learn from that, they're going to try to take those two out of the game. How can they be better? And it might be perfect timing for them to try to find those slots. Like, do they go a little bit of a diamond where they find the pockets on the outside instead of right in front of the back line where the holding midfielders sit? Do they slide a little bit wide? Whatever their movement will be, I think coming off of that game where there was frustration, it might be a perfect storm for North Carolina to find the right solutions against this Spirit team.
The Courage have adapted well this year. We've seen them be able to do that at times. And I think under Nejas this year, we're seeing that differently. If they can't impose their game upon their opposition 100%, they're adjusting and adapting, which allows them to pick up points.
But with that, I think we even need more adjusting. We need that amenability between, okay, a team knows that you're going to play in a box. A team knows, hey, if we try to bully Denise O'Sullivan, it's going to break up your entire play. Cool. Shut out Sanchez and Shaw. We know how to shut you down in the attack. To me, there needs to be maybe one more tactic change, one more something that adds another layer to how this team builds. You know they're going to be possessive heavy. You know they're going to be incredibly technical. They can be threatening, but they've just been that for so long. It's almost, yes, keep the directness, keep going at them. But I need like one more change up, and I think that's going to do it for them. But it's been fun to watch them get better and better each game, especially week over week, especially in the attack for these players. I still want to see Jaden Shaw get on the board. We need a goal. We need to go for her.
She needs that too.
Yeah, you can just see it in her confidence and her body language. She's just in that, I want to call it like sophomore slump almost that you get in there. She just needs one and it'll get better. But
you can tell she's pressing the game and she's trying to do the most when like she is at her best, when she's not thinking about how she needs to be productive. She's just being productive. And it's a funny thing to talk about, but it really is this mixture between not thinking too much and just feeling the game. And she feels the game so well, and she just can't get in that rhythm right now. So, but no better time to do it than against this Spirit team at home. They haven't been great. They haven't been great at home this year, Lisa.
No, they haven't. Washington has really struggled to pick up points. They haven't made it a fortress. They just 4 points in 5 games at home. So they have lost more points at home this season through week 10 than they did in all 13 home games last year. So this is going to be a big struggle for Washington. Millie Tice in our chat is like, guys, I'm not making predictions. So I see the availability report. Well, Millie, you're lucky. We have to make predictions on here because we do our shows on Thursday. So we have to know. Jordan, I'm going to go to you first. Who takes this one? Washington, North Carolina?
Yeah. We hate draws, don't we?
No, you're going to give it a draw.
Well, I won't if we hate them that much.
Well, what do you genuinely think? I do hate a draw, though.
I think this could be like a 1-1 game. That's my thought. I think both of these teams could score, but when I'll not go a draw. I'm going to go 2-1 Spirit. I think with them getting some players back, they're getting a little bit more healthy at home. They know those numbers just as well as we do, right? They know that they haven't been performing well at Rowdy Audi, and that place is rocking when they are on the front foot. And Croy just got her first goal in the last game. She's going to want to do that at home. She has come back from this injury with the same zip in her step that she had before. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think North Carolina gets one, but with some of these players back for the Spirit, I'll give them a win. I'll give them a win at home.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go North Carolina wins away from home. They need it. I want Jaden Shaw to score. I'm putting it out into the soccer universe, the footy universe. Get Jaden Shaw on the scoreboard. I want to see that tactical change. And like you said, Spirit haven't been great at home. They're aware of that. Rowdy Audi. But it's a lot of pressure when you're at home as well, and you still haven't been performing. So I'm gonna give some faith and goodwill over to the Courage girls.
I like this one. This could be a draw. This could very well be a draw.
Boo.
I'm not going to give it just because we can't, but if I could, I would give a draw. But I'm going to go Washington 1-0. I think it's going to be narrow. I think there's going to be chances created, but it's not going to come and be as electric as it could be. And Washington needs this win at home. I also think defensively, they could limit North Carolina to what they need to do in the attacking end. So this game, Washington, North Carolina, 4 p.m. on Sunday.